Our 2027 Wisconsin football recruiting class superlatives are here. But all y'all listening to this are most likely to have some fun. Scary Alvarez is back, and we're going to have a fun one today, gang. My 2027 Wisconsin football class superlatives. And for those of you who don't know what superlatives are, it's the yearbook thing or akin to that, where it's most likely to be this, most likely to be that, most likely to be the other thing. I'm not going to go into the one I may or may not have won in high school. It might be a lot of fun for y'all to hear that one. But anyway, let's get started right away with most likely to be future president. That, my friends, is Coors Loken. Anyone familiar with the way this recruiting class has gone knows not only was it a big deal to get Loken on board early in the class. He's a sturdy, athletic, 4-star tight end, Wisconsin, small town kid, real engaging personality, funny guy, good basketball hooper, but he just has the feel of the guy who can influence people. And his work in securing numerous members of what is becoming nearly the final version of the 2027 Wisconsin class has been vitally important. I mean, he's not going to be listed as an assistant recruiting coach on Fickle's staff. That'd probably be some sort of NCAA violation, but Loken has been there the whole way and has been doing awesome. So there's your future president. Most likely to succeed. That's usually a later one. I'm going to start right at the top with that one. And by the way, speaking of starting at the top with something, throw a scary a like and a subscription if you haven't already. And throw your comments down in the comment section. I know you often disagree with what I say or agree. Either way, I'd love to have you down there. That's what makes it fun. Anyway, most likely to succeed. A couple dudes. Offensive tackle Cole Reiter. Another massive, talented Wisconsin guy who just has the look and feel of those guys that Wisconsin would seemingly get every year back in the late 90s, into the 2000s, into the 2010s. And he like Loken, I gave some thought to this one as well for president, but he's he's an engaging kid who likes to kind of sell the product. And I really appreciate his efforts as well. And we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully a big senior season. And also mostly likely to succeed. This is a gentleman I did a podcast about a week ago. And that's going to be DB Mekhi Williams out of Florida, in the Tampa area. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, in terms of rating defensive back recruits that Wisconsin has had in a generation. He, like several of the guys on the team, but he just had an offer list that was super impressive. And besides almost causing heart attacks for Wisconsin fans during his commitment ceremony when he threw on the LSU hat for a minute, he seems like he is locked in to be a Badger, and it's great to have him. All right, let's keep it moving. It's a very specific one. Most likely to dagger Ohio State in the future. And I got several guys for this one because these all kind of strike me the same way. Quarterback Jack Sorgi, newly committed defensive line Yazin Zion, edge rusher Isaac Miller, wide receiver Steele Harris from way up there in Montana, and running back Kingston Allen, the Green Bay area. This is a super talented group of kids, but their potential and skill set kind of mark an upside that it would not be shocking to have one or more of them, maybe even all of them, if we're really lucky, end up being a super impact player. The kind of player who can make a big play and beat a team like Ohio State for the first time in 20 years. So love those guys. Talented Twins Award. I know they must just love it when people talk about how they're twins. I must be the first person who's ever done that. But I'm going to give this one not only for lack of competition, but because these are cool dudes as well, and you can tell they really like each other. Hunter and Reese Mallinger, both offensive linemen, both talented guys, And as I noted in Bucky's fifth quarter, these are a couple guys who 3 years from now, 4 years from now, if these two were composing 40% of Wisconsin's offensive line, you wouldn't be shocked. So keep an eye on those names. Here's a superlative that I really like, and it's not always the most fun for the player to go through at the time, but this is most underrated. And while I'm about to say something complimentary of all these guys, the fact that they're underrated means that they are being disrespected, at least in some circles, whether it's in ranking how important the class is, or the members of the class, whether it's various recruiting rankings that just aren't quite where they should be with some of these based on their talent level and potential. That's the way it is. I mean, everyone can't be a 4-star. That's just that's recruiting. So I'm going to go through my most underrated list. Linebacker Nathan Jones out of the state of Arizona. Wisconsin safety Dustin Roach. Cornerback Royalton Allen. Edge Darren Graham. And linebacker Keaton Wallen. And again, I think every one of these kids has a fighting shot to be a real contributor for the Badgers down the road. This is just more commentary, as I said, on the ranking services sleeping on them, because these are some really talented high motor players. All right, moving on. Most approved / scary upside. And I commented on something similar to this on Bucky's fifth quarter, and Jai Jones, wide receiver, is going to be my choice here. I had someone else suggest that Mr. Zion should have gotten this, and a good case can be made. But there's something about being a 4-star Wisconsin wide receiver recruit that puts you in kind of rarefied air. It is a really unusual thing to be. Okay, and this wasn't like one service has him as a 4-star, the other one is unrated or something. I mean, this is you can tell by his offer list, this is a legitimate, talented, potential star. Obviously, he's not done anything in college. It's going to be over a year until he does, but you're looking at upside here. So when I say most approved, I don't mean that this gentleman has more to prove than anyone just by virtue of the fact that I'm being mean to him or something. It's just because he's a 4-star wide receiver going to Wisconsin. That puts the radar on him. It's just the way it is, guys. And the second part of this is scary upside. And he has it. He has scary upside. You're not going to drop him in there and the boundary day one and have him be dominant. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you look at his highlight tape and then project that out to increased strength and increased speed and some additional coaching, I just really like his upside. Simple as that. So Jai Jones, most approved / scary upside. Most likely to wear his Wisconsin uniform to bed. This was, unlike some of the other ones, this was an easy one. That is going to offensive lineman Ethan McIntosh, son of Chris McIntosh, former Wisconsin star, former Wisconsin athletic director. Ethan was going to games as a baby. I'm sure he was at games in the womb, but he's just, over the years, you can tell he's one of these guys that's just been a diehard Badger, will continue to be, hopefully forever. And it's exciting to know that he's coming to join this class. The long shot who will make it someday. This might be my boldest prediction of all of these. Those of you who've been following this week, and he said it himself, Eric Mateos, who's Wisconsin offensive line coach, said that and this is going back to his previous offensive line coaching in Arkansas, he said he always gives one surprise offer from camp. And he did just that this week. Jack Tabor, Wisconsin player, grew up in Wisconsin, showed out at camp. He was offered by Mateos. He accepted that offer, and he is going to be the next Wisconsin Badger, or he already is, Wisconsin Badger lineman commit. And yeah, he doesn't have the star ratings that anyone else has so far in this very growing, now 20 guys, Wisconsin football recruiting class. But he just, I don't know. I mean, I've watched a little bit of his film, but don't be surprised if this guy plays football for Wisconsin. Simple as that. So the long shot who will make it someday, Jack Tabor. Most likely to have an incredible offer list relative to his recruiting ranking. That is safety Trey Roberson out of North Texas. He's a really good player. So this isn't faint praise like, oh, this kid's only a 3-star. How the heck does he have all these recruiting? He is a really talented safety. And his recruiting list, as soon as he finished this podcast, click another window open and check out all the schools that have offered him. Yeah, this isn't some 4-star superstar blue blood who's been in and out of all these camps, but he obviously has made an impression on not just Wisconsin, Miami of Florida, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, who sucks, by the way. That's another podcast. Them making Sorsby eligible and playing him. What an unbelievable misstep by Texas Tech. Anyway, UCLA, Vanderbilt, Nebraska, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Auburn, Baylor, Central Florida, Duke, Arizona State, Arizona, TCU, Iowa State, others. Just an unbelievable offer list. So I said in my last podcast that there are 3 things to keep an eye on: star ratings, offer list, and game film. This is the kid where, well, the stars are fine. He's a high 3-star, and the game film speaks for itself. Really encouraging. The offer list speaks volumes here with Trey Roberson. Rounding up here, the most ready-made NFL star name. This is the most deeply subjective of all this, but I love safety DJ Davis's name. DJ Davis just sounds like and I'm not sure if I'm conflating previous NFL guys, but DJ Davis would be a good DJ name too. But just an awesome name for an NFL player. And now, see, the Green Bay Packers draft safety DJ Davis. I don't know, just love it. And finally, this is going to wrap it up. And I might ironically screw one of these names up for the very reason I'm putting it here. The most and least likely to have his name mispronounced by an announcer. Defensive line, Will Zaccagnino, and defensive line, David Hill. I'm going to have you guess which is which here. Okay, David Hill, by the way, 247 Sports today just bumped him up to a 4-star, adding another 4-star player to Wisconsin's class, which, as of the recording time, is number 12 in 247's 2027 class rankings. Really impressive stuff. But anyway, hats up to Matt Mankey, the Badgers PA guy. You got an easy one, a hard one. I guess if you average them out, you have an average one. But I'd love to hear from y'all if I missed anyone. I think I got everyone in the class. Obviously, they could add more guys. No offense if that's you. But that is my 2027 Wisconsin Recruiting Class Superlatives. Again, throw your comments down there. Really appreciate it. Just a fun one today. Not too deep. But Scary Alvarez is out.